In this video, let us learn about service operation. Service operation overview and objectives. In this course, we'll be covering the following agenda: define service operation goals and objectives, use of service operation in business, list the service operation processes, identify event management purpose, objective, scope, and how it adds value. Identify incident management purpose, objectives, scope, and how it adds value. Identify fulfillment management purpose, objectives, scope, and how it adds value. Identify management purpose, objectives, the scope, and how it adds value. Classify different type functions in service operation. Strategic objectives are ultimately realized through service operation, which makes it a critical capability. ITIL service operation provides guidance on how to maintain stability in service operation, allowing for changes in design, scale, scope, and service levels. Organizations are provided with detailed process guidelines, methods, and tools for use in two major control perspectives: reactive and proactive. New models and architectures such as shared services, utility computing, web services, and mobile commerce to support service operation are described. Service operation goals and objectives. The purpose of the service operation stage of the service lifecycle is to coordinate and carry out the activities and processes required to deliver and manage services at agreed levels to business users and customers. Service operation is also responsible for the ongoing management of the technology that is used to deliver and support services. Service operation is a critical stage of the service lifecycle. Well-planned and well-implemented processes will be to no avail if the day-to-day operation of those processes is not properly conducted, controlled, and managed. Nor will service improvements be possible if day-to-day activities to monitor performance, assess metrics, and gather operational data are not systematically conducted during service operation. Staff involved in the service operation stage of the service lifecycle should have processes and support tools in place that allow them to have an overall view of service operation and delivery, rather than just the separate components, such as hardware, software applications, and networks, that make up the end-to-end service from a business perspective. These processes and tools should also detect any threats or failures to service quality. As services may be provided in whole or in part by one or more partner supplier organizations, the service operation view of the end-to-end service should be extended to encompass external aspects of service provision. When necessary, shared or interfacing processes and tools should be deployed to manage cross-organizational workflows. The objectives of service operation are to maintain business satisfaction and confidence in IT through effective and efficient delivery and support of agreed IT services. Minimize the impact of service outages on day-to-day business activities. Ensure that access to agreed IT services is only provided to those authorized to receive those services. Service operation business value. Selecting and adopting the best practices recommended in this publication will assist organizations in delivering significant benefits. Adopting and implementing standard and consistent approaches for service operation will reduce unplanned labor and costs for both the business and IT through optimized handling of service outages and identification of their root causes. Reduce the duration and frequency of service outages, which will allow the business to take full advantage of the value created by the services they're receiving. Providing operational results and data that can be used by other ITIL processes to improve services continually and provide justification for investing in ongoing service improvement activities and supporting technologies. Meet the goals and objectives of the organization's security policy by ensuring that IT services will be accessed only by those authorized to use them. Provide quick and effective access to standard services which business staff can use to improve their productivity or the quality of business services and products. Provide a basis for automated operations, thus increasing efficiencies, and allowing expensive human resources to be used for more innovative work, such as designing new or improved functionality or defining new ways in which the business can exploit technology for increased competitive advantage. Service operation key terminology. Impact is the measure of effect of an incident, problem, or change on business processes. Impact is often based on how service levels will be affected. Urgency is the measure of business criticality of an incident, problem, or change, where there is an effect upon business deadlines. Time required for actions to be taken is known as priority. Priority is a function of impact and urgency, so priority equals impact times urgency. Service request is the user requesting information for a change or access to an IT service. An event is a notification created by a service, CI, or monitoring tool. An alert is a warning or notice about threshold, change, or failure that has occurred. An incident, unexpected interruption or reduction in quality of an IT service. A problem is a cause of one or more incidents. A workaround is a temporary means to resolve issues or difficulties. A known error is a problem that has a documented root cause and a workaround. A known error database, KEDB, is a storage for previous knowledge on requests and known errors. Service operation. Balance internal IT view versus external business view. The most fundamental conflict in all stages of the service lifecycle is between the view of IT as a set of IT services, the external business view, and the view of IT as a set of technology components, internal IT view. The external view of IT is the way in which services are experienced by its users and customers. They do not always understand, nor do they wish to care about the details of what technology is used to manage those services. All they are concerned about is that the services are delivered as required and agreed. The internal view of IT is the way in which IT components and systems are managed to deliver the services. Because IT systems are complex and diverse, this often means that the technology is managed by several different teams or departments, each of which is focused on achieving good performance and availability of its systems. The whole point of service management is to balance these views to meet the objectives of the organisation as a whole. It is critical to structure services around customers. At the same time, it is possible to compromise the quality of services by not thinking about how they'll be delivered. Both views are necessary when delivering the services. The organisation that focuses only on business requirements without thinking about how they're going to deliver will end up making promises that cannot be kept. The organisation that focuses only on internal systems without thinking about what services they support will end up with expensive services that deliver little value. The potential for role conflict between the external and internal views is a result of many variables, including the maturity of the organisation, its management culture, its history, etc. This makes a balance difficult to achieve, and most organisations tend more towards one role than the other. Of course, no organisation will be totally internally or externally focused, but will find itself in a position along a spectrum between the two. Service operation. Balance stability versus responsiveness. No matter how well IT service has been designed, and no matter how good the functionality of an IT service is, it is worth nothing if their individual IT components are not performing as per their agreed levels and not delivering the desired value. Stability is to develop and refine standard IT management techniques and processes. Service components need to be available and perform consistently. Responsiveness is the ability to respond to changes without impact to other services, ability to take care when agreeing to required changes, consider all requirements and impact of delivering change. Example: a business unit requires additional IT services, more capacity and faster response times. To respond to this type of change without impacting other services is a significant challenge. Many IT organisations are unable to achieve this balance and tend to focus on firefighting. Building an IT organization that achieves a balance between stability and responsiveness in service operation will require the following actions. Ensure investment in processes and technologies that are adaptive rather than rigid. Build a strong service level management (SLM) process, which is active from the service design stage to the CSI stage of the service lifecycle. Ensure proper mapping of business requirements to IT operational activities and components of the IT infrastructure by integration between SLM and the other service design. This will ensure that both business and IT operational requirements can be assessed and built or changed together. Service operation. Balance quality of service versus cost of service. Service operation is required consistently to deliver the agreed level of IT service to its customers and users, while at the same time keeping costs and resource utilization at an optimal level. Achieving an optimal balance between cost and quality is a key role of service management. Every organization will have different range of optimization depending on the nature of the service and the type of the business. Determining the appropriate balance of cost and quality should be done during the service strategy and service design lifecycle stages, although in many organizations it is left to the service operation teams. Unfortunately, it is also common to find organizations that are spending vast quantities of money without achieving any clear improvements in quality. Again, CSI will be able to identify the cause of the inefficiency, evaluate the optimal balance for that service, and formulate a corrective plan. Achieving the correct balance is important. Too much focus on quality will result in IT services that deliver more than necessary, at a higher cost, and could lead to a discussion on reducing the price of services. Too much focus on cost will result in IT delivering on or under budget, but putting the business at risk through substandard IT services. There is no simple calculation to determine when costs have been cut too far, but good SLM is crucial to making customers aware of the impact of cutting too far. So, recognizing these warning signs and symptoms can greatly enhance an organization's ability to correct this situation. Service operation, reactive versus proactive. Action which takes place when prompted by external drivers is known as reactive. Proactive is always looking for ways to improve the current situation. Continually looking for potentially impacting changes can be expensive. It's better to manage proactively. A reactive organisation is one which does not act unless it is prompted to do so by an external driver, e.g. a new business requirement, an application that has been developed, or escalation in complaints made by users and customers. An unfortunate reality in many organisations is the focus on reactive management mistakenly as the sole means to ensure services that are highly consistent and stable, actively discouraging proactive behaviour from operational staff. The unfortunate irony of this approach is that discouraging investment in proactive service management can ultimately increase the effort and cost of reactive activities and further risk stability and consistency in services. To achieve balance between reactive and proactive requires formal integrated problem and incident management processes, ability to prioritize technical faults and demands, data from configuration and asset management, ongoing involvement from service level management in service operations. While proactive behaviour in service operation is generally good, there are also times where reactive behaviour is needed. The role of service operation is therefore to achieve a balance between being reactive and proactive. Service operation processes. There are a number of key service operation processes that must link together to provide an effective overall IT support structure. Service operation has the following 5 processes. Event management. Event management manages events throughout their life cycle. This life cycle includes coordination activities to detect events, make sense of them, and determine the appropriate controlled action. Incident management. Incident management concentrates on restoring unexpectedly degrading or disrupted services to users as quickly as possible in order to minimize business impact. Problem management. Problem management involves root cause analysis to determine and resolve the underlying causes of incidents and proactive activities to detect and prevent future problems or incidents. This also includes the creation of known error records that document root causes and workarounds to allow quicker diagnosis and resolution should further incidents occur. Request fulfillment. Request fulfillment is the process for managing the life cycle of all service requests. Service requests are managed throughout their life cycle from initial request to fulfillment using separate request fulfillment records or tables to record and track their status. Service requests are the mechanism by which users formally request something from an IT service provider. Service requests are transactional and associated with the standard services that a provider is delivering. A service request is associated with a request model that defines any prerequisites, authorizations needed, and standard work steps and activities to fulfill it. As part of that request model, standard changes and other types of requests for change, RFCS, may be needed to complete fulfillment actions. Figure 3.2 illustrates the relationship between a service request, request model, and RFC. Access management. Access management is the process of granting authorized users the rights to use a service, while restricting access to non-authorized users. It is based on being able to accurately identify authorized users and then manage their ability to access services as required for their specific organizational role or job function. Access management has also been called identity or rights management in some organizations. It should fully support the policies designed in the Information Security Management Process, (CITIL service design), with respect to roles, rights, and segregation of duties.